came around to say hello. One, I'm so fly. You took a nosedive. Careful when you play on my level. For you it's so. Hey, hello.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra. Flip the script.
Hello, Moto.
The program's theme.
At which stage did the Prime Minister, and Shushant Sareen, I want to ask you, at which stage did the Prime Minister say that those who dissent are urban Naxals or Dimagi Naxals? Where did he say that? And when Sanjay Jha is so outraged that, oh, Pradeep Bhandari is calling the Congress party the Dimagi Naxals, well, it's a label they have all jumped up and accepted themselves. Why is the outrage coming 48 hours later, Sushant Sareen?
Yeah, look, I don't think that statement was against the dissenters. Sanjay, for example, or Waris Pathan, or Ghanshyam, and many other luminaries from the opposition side come on television every day. They roundly criticize the government. They go hammer and tongs at them. I don't think anybody can call either Sanjay or Waris or Ghanshyam urban Naxals. One might not agree with their viewpoint, but they're certainly not urban Naxals. I think urban Naxals or the Dimagi Naxals, I think probably the best definition which comes to mind is something which Arun Jaitley had said. It's the overground face of the underground. And we've seen plenty of evidence of that. Now, I don't agree with Pradeep. It was the Congress party which actually wiped out the first wave of Naxalism, and ruthlessly. But it was the same Congress party which actually fought the Naxals in the second round, but could not go the whole distance simply because a lot of those so-called people with the urban Naxal mindset had infiltrated the ranks, including in what was called the NCA, right?
NAC.
They had actually infiltrated the ranks. They were running the policy. It was the super government. And while you did, tackle with the Naxals at a very tactical level, the kind of larger strategy which should have been made was never made. And it's the same Mr. Chidambaram who today says, I am a Dimagi Naxal, and he's probably trying to, take a leaf out of the BJP book. You remember that Chor Bhi Chaukidar hai kind of campaign? And then, the thing went viral, that Main Bhi Chaukidar kind of a thing. Maybe that's what they were trying to do. It's fallen flat on the face. But Mr. Chidambaram, to his credit and now to his discredit, he was the man who actually was at one point of time leading the fight against the Naxals. Only this particular clip which you played tells you that they could not go the whole distance. But it was the Congress party guys who were getting wiped out in Chhattisgarh and in Bastar when, top luminaries of the Congress party got killed. And it's the Congress party, for them to now take on this mantle that I am a Dimagi Naxal. We very well know that there are people who go and fight the Indian state, who massacre people, who have been responsible for hundreds and thousands of deaths in the jungles. But there is another ecosystem which lives in the comfort of, urban areas, which are employed in universities, who are probably, some of them are allegedly students. A whole lot of this crowd, which actually backs that entire movement through the intellectual or the so-called intellectual, allegedly intellectual activity. That is the section of society that I think the Prime Minister was naming. And there was nothing wrong in it, because this is a genuine problem. There are people. Sanjay is wrong. Nobody said the farmers are separatists or Khalistanis. But can Sanjay deny that there was an element of the Khalistani lot which had infiltrated the farmers' agitation when that was happening? Can he deny that? Can he deny the fact that there were the slogans shouted out in JNU that Bharat Tere Tukde Honge? Can he deny that something like that happened? Does he condone it or does he condemn it? I would imagine that a nationalist Indian with whose views I might not necessarily agree, we might be not on the same page on everything, but I'm sure he does not agree with a Sharjeel Imam who goes about saying that we need to mobilize to cut off the chicken's neck and separate northeast of India from India.
Absolutely.
Does he agree?
Absolutely. And Sanjay Jha, for once, don't be ambiguous. We may not have the same views, but we are not questioning your nationalism. All we are saying is, why do you chicken out of calling out those people who want to cut the chicken neck? That is the only question.
So Navika, a short response to what Sushant said. Sushant, let's kind of have a more holistic conversation on this. Keep it short. You have had a situation where the students protesting at Jantar Mantar have been called by eminent people from the RSS and the BJP as Tukre gang, national security threat, anti-nationals, separatists, and what have you. I mean, that's the problem. That is the whole problem.
They've had to backtrack, my friend. They've had to backtrack.
Navika.
So please,
Navika.
please, they made a mistake and they've had to backtrack. The resignation was given, all demands were met. Yes, Sanjay Jha, they have acknowledged the fault that was made. The trouble with you and your rank and file is that you don't want to acknowledge. After all, Waris Pathan, Dr. Manmohan Singh started from the position of saying that the biggest challenge to India's national security were the Maoist terrorists. To the time when the NAC, the National Advisory Council, headed by Sonia Gandhi, became what it became. And then you saw what Chidambaram said. Bhai, abjure violence. We will not ask you to lay down your arms. We were on our knees. And Naxalism, Maoist terrorism, could never have been met with that kind of a resolve. So if the Prime Minister has said exactly what the Congress governments have said in the past, what is the sudden point on which there is so much of outrage, so much of anger?
Well, Navika, just few months back, the Supreme Court judge called certain people's cockroaches, and what we saw was a cockroach Janata Party was formed, and they had taken the government on their knees, and Dharmendra Pradhan, the education minister, has to resign. They went on the streets, they protested as per the constitution. Now what I have learned is that because Narendra Modi, on the pious occasion of our Independence Day from Red Fort, he spoke about Dimagi Naxal. So just today the new party is formed on Instagram calling Dimagi Naxal Janata Party. Now what will happen in the coming few days, we don't know. They will be protesting or something like that. But I would ask, who is a Dimagi Naxal? And who will term a person as a Dimagi Naxal? If asking the government, if the constitution has given me a right, if the government is doing something wrong, and if I question to a government, will I be called a Dimagi Naxal? Is it called a Dimagi Naxal? Then yes, I am a Dimagi Naxal. Questioning the government does not make you. Now allow me, just a parliamentarian on the floor of the parliament calls a Muslim cut mullah. I am talking about Biduri. Calling a other parliamentarian cut mullah, Atangwadi, terrorist to the other co-parliamentarian Muslim.
Wrong.
What will you name him?
Absolutely condemnable. And nobody has any problems in condemning Biduri ji.
Condemnable, right?
Everybody condemns that statement, condemns the parliamentarian.
Was he removed? Was he removed? No, was he removed? Was he suspended? Was he suspended? Was he removed? Did Modi came and apologized before the protest, before the nation for the deeds done by his parliamentarian?
Were you removed from AIMM?
Now allow me. See, this is not the proper way. Don't behave like a child. Don't intervene. When you always speaking, I kept my mouth shut. I did not utter a single word. I did not utter a single word when you were making your point.
Were you removed?
No, I did not ask. I leveled it. No, I showed you the fact. I showed fact. I did not ask you question. I showed you the fact that what would you call that person who on the floor of the parliament calls a fellow Muslim parliamentarian
Were you removed by OSC?
and terrorist. And what was that?
You guys have gone to the court for asking for bail.
To complete, and then I'll give you time to counter. Allow Waris Bhai to complete.
I think Pradeep Bhandari has become a Dimagi Naxal for the television. I think so. He is intervening time and again. He's threatening everybody that if you intervene, I will not allow you to make your points and I will interfere again and again. He is now one of the Dimagi Naxal.
Yeah, I don't know what you are saying. Tu bhi Naxal, main bhi Naxal. Is it some fashionable? I mean, this is not a matter of a joke, Waris Bhai.
Then who made this joke? On the pious day of independence from the Red Fort, Prime Minister calling this kind of phrase Dimagi Naxal. Who made this joke? Prime Minister. Why don't you question him? You should ask him. What
Well,
made him use
the-
this kind
the-
of words? And
the-
if from
the
ask him, who
statement-
will you term as a Dimagi Naxal? What will you call Bidori? What will you call the BJP
आपको
people
बुलाया
who
नहीं,
now
आप
and
इतने
then
ऑफेंड
spread
क्यों हो
hatred
रहे
in the
मुझे नहीं
country?
समझ में आ
What
रहा.
will you
बट
call that?
प्रदीप
What will
भंडारी
you call the
प्रदीप भंडारी
movement
काउंटर
of
हर्षवर्धन जी
religion?
कमिंग टू यू.
Just
What kind
tense.
of Dimagi Naxals are there?
Baris bhai,
When they lynch Muslims
on-
in the name of
on October
Muslims are being lynched,
25,
what kind of Naxals
Baris
do you call
Ji,
them?
Baris
Dimagi
bhai,
Naxals?
Baris
Or
bhai,
no?
don't trivialize the debate. It is to do with the unity and integrity of country,
ah.
which you and I both believe in. On October 25th, 2010.
Achha, you are worried about the unity and integrity
Yes,
of the
I am.
country.
I am.
I
That is why I
surprised, shocked.
abrogated.
This is the
That's
greatest
why
joke
our
after
government
you
has
became
abrogated
some
Article
person
370
of
under
the-
leadership of PM and HN.
As
Now,
soon
please,
as you got a
Baris bhai,
promotion,
on
as
October
soon as you got
25,
promoted, you lost your
2010,
mind.
Arundhati
As soon as you
Roy
got
says, and
promoted, you lost
Arundhati
your
Roy
mind.
says that Kashmir was never a part of India. Is this
I
a
don't
Dimagi
speak for
Naxal
them, I am
mindset or
speaking on
not?
behalf of-
And you have Congress leaders backing Arundhati Roy. This
No,
is
ask-
exactly
allow me,
Dimagi
you ask
Naxal.
single question,
On
I've asked you,
31st of
Biduri,
May
this kind of
2010,
words
you had the
on a
National
fellow
Advisory
co-parliamentarian.
Council
What is
saying that
Dimagi Naxal
Chidambaram's
or no?
fight against Naxalism is wrong. It was NAC which went public against India's fight against Naxalism in 2010 when Chidambaram was the Home Minister. That is Dimagi
No, who
Naxal
are you-
mindset, sir.
Who are you to call it a
One
Naxal?
minute. One minute.